Hello, everyone. Good morning once again. A quick revisit to the AUD USD pair. If you're following me on this pair, I shared the publication on this pair during the weekend where I gave an ambiguous situation where we were looking for the possibility of price to move either upward or downward. However, I made it clear that the key level right at this area 1.69 0.69. Give me a moment, let me adjust this so that we can have it clearly seen on okay, yes, 0.69150 shall be our guide going into the new week. And if you remember last week, we had this candle last week, this bearish engulfing candle. And I made mention that if this bearish red dotted candle will hold and service us for this week, we shall be looking forward to a retest of that key level and also that trend line where we look for structures that will support a trend continuation to the downside. And I made mention on the contrary that should there be a situation where we have a break above and retest on lower time frame of that key level, then we want to be joining the rally to the upside. And in that regard, I made a couple of updates in that regard where we had two positions running in that regard, one at 0.69200 and the other one at 0.69268. And I made mention also in that video that we should take into cognizance this area around 0.69450 and zero point 0.7 area where we should be watching out for multiple rejection or a reversal pattern that will be a signal for selling opportunity in that regard, and that if we see such structures we should definitely move our stop loss to break even at this point or lock in some profit at this area. And I think that information is what I stated in this yellow box, which I said info for buyers, that for those who took the counter trade opportunity, multiple rejection from sellers or a reversal pattern is a signal selling opportunity is coming, so move the stop to break even. I stated this clearly during the previous video. You can check the link below for reference purposes. However, the multiple structure did not come at that area but came at this area around 0.70200, and we can see we have a consolidation phase around this area, which is also looking more like a reversal pattern thereabout but is not yet confirmed. And remember that this consolidation phase around this area shares a zone with the supply zone identified earlier on the daily time frame. And we can see what's happening here. With this structure here, we might be looking for selling opportunities at this point. And why am I saying that? If you look closely into what's happening on the daily time frame or on the weekly time frame, you will agree with me that we have been on a bearish momentum for a very long time, at least since the beginning of April this year. So, with that information in hand, we really need to look into what is really happening around this area. So, if you allow me to hide this position, currently we are in profit of about, let me see, we have two positions running. We are in profit of about 88 in the first one, and we have what's it called? We have 86 in the second one, which is approximately 160 to 170 pips in profit already. So allow me to hide this. For me at this point, if you are not sure of situation, you might want to close your profits. You might want to take your profit right now, close your trade if you are taking advantage of the counter trend opportunity. However, let me allow me to hide this one too as well. So, like I said, considering the long-term bearish momentum and considering the fact that price has been rejecting that supply zone at 0.70400 multiple times since the beginning of today's session, then we want to be looking, is it possible that we might be having a retracement into the neckline to incite a trend continuation to the upside, or are we going to be having a situation where the trend continuation that began in April will continue to manifest itself with lower lows and lower highs going forward? So to get more picture into what is happening within this area, we really need to scale down to a much lower time frame to see how we can take advantage of a selling opportunity if it finally happens. So scaling down to a much lower time frame, let's say the form of a 1 hour time frame, then we are definitely having something like this playing around here. Zooming into structure presently, we have we have a scenario where we saw this impulse leg, and then we, as soon as price touch 0.704425 around that area, we started seeing rejection of that area. Price came back into this area the second time, later last night, but we saw a quick rejection of that area one more time again. Coming back into this area, price came back into that level this morning, and we saw a quick rejection with engulfing bearish candle, which is more like a sign that sellers are still quite very strong at this juncture in the market. So what this simply means at this point is that we want to be identify a key level which we want to be using to walk and guide our action going into the UK and the New York session. So if you allow me, let's readjust our key level from where it was at this point to somewhere around that neckline to meter out the noise. So if you allow me, we have something like this. If you look left, we can see that we have structures around here, which is also a support. We have structures here, which was a resistance, and we have resistance around this area. We also have also support, resistance, breakdown, breakout around this area. And then we had a support sometime yesterday, and we had multiple support in fact at this point. So with what I have explained so far, it is clear that this level is very, very significant. And if we look closely into the price, it's exactly at zero point 0.7 level, which is also a very, very strong psychological level. So allow me to label this. So with this information in hand and with the structure we found around this area, the indecision around here is looking more like a triple top structure where we have three rejections right at the top here. So one thing we want to be looking out for going into the news to the new day is that we want to be looking for breakdown of this structure which has been holding for some time now since yesterday, I guess. Yes, since yesterday morning. It has been holding since yesterday morning. Then we want to be looking for a breakout of that structure, a retest into structure with signals or patterns that shows that price want to be going down. Then we can be looking for opportunity to sell this pair. So in that regard, personally, I actually placed a pending order right at 0.69964, where no matter what happens, if the signal happens in the form of a breakdown, and then we see a retest, then it will welcome another opportunity to add more positions into this trade. So with that being said, we will be having a sell position that looks more like this with around 45-50 pips stop loss target. Then we want to be aiming for the meantime a take profit target at a retest of the trend line that we identified on the daily time frame. As we can see, the trend line was broken sometime this week. It was broken. We saw, sorry, if you allow me to illustrate this with a guide, you can see it was broken. And then we want to be looking for, after this reversal pattern is fully confirmed, we want to be looking for a retest into this structure, where we'll probably be looking forward to structures that will send price going to the upside. That is, structures that will send price going to the upside like this, or probably we will be seeing structures that will send price going further down, when definitely we can add more positions if we have our selling opportunity still running. So to have our take profit target at this point, I want to be projecting into somewhere around this area, which is around 170 pips profit target, where I'll be looking at 0.250 as my take profit target for the meantime. And why is 0.68250 my profit target at this time? The reason is because if we look left, we can see that there is a level where buyers took over the market during the week, and we might be seeing a situation where price comes back into that area to come and meet where buyers gather to probably take a second wave. So I would like to give this a green. My demand zones are always green. So now that demand zone at this point will probably be our guide going into the future. Possibly if we see a breakdown of that level, a retest will probably send us to put more position into the selling perspective. So in this regard, with a stop loss of about 50 pips, right at the top of that, we can put it around 50, 55 pips, and with a take profit of about 170 pips, we will be having a risk reward ratio of between 1 to 3.5 thereabout to play with going into the new session. So, and this at this point in time, I would like to pause the video. Sincerely, with this setup, one thing I want to say before I pause the video is that this key level at 2.7 thousand is going to be our yardstick for selling opportunities, as anything above that level is not good for us for selling. And if we can see price come below and do structures below that level, definitely we want to sell. However, if we see a breakout of this area, then it is an opportunity to add more position to your buying opportunity. However, for those who are still in this trade, who took the buy trade, it is advisable that you move your stop loss to somewhere around here, where if we see a breakdown retest structure, then you might want to close all your positions at this point. So at this point, I would like to pause the video, and please note that at every point in time, I always ensure that there is an update given on my trading view in the comment section of my trading view account. So, on this note, let's see how price reacts to the present structure, and I shall keep you updated as at when due. Thank you for watching, and do have a wonderful day. Bye.